All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Well, good evening and welcome to the All Sports, All Plays Network. This is ASAP Real Talk. This is Freddie Henderson. I'll be your moderator tonight, and I'm joined with the boys once again. First, right next to me, got the one and only Chris Brown. What's up with it, Chris? All right, we got my main dude, Brian, on the second show. What's up with it, Brian?
What it is, what it ain't, what it gonna be, people.
All right, then we got Coach Cam on the show. What's up with it, Coach Cam?
What's going on? Let's go. Let's get it. I'm excited to get it going.
All right, Chris, are you back?
Yeah, my fault. I forgot I was on mute because I was bumping some music. You know, y'all not ready for the music I listen to.
Oh, so you pulled a Freddie Henderson?
Oh no, yeah, but I was doing something though. Freddie just be on mute, eating chips and sandwiches, watching who knows what. But you know, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Glad to be here, ready to debate sports. You know, I'm probably gonna have a migraine because of Freddie says the dumb things that he say. But you know, I look forward to every Monday and Thursday.
Already.
Hey, then we got the one and only. We got Michael on the show. What's up with it, Michael? How's it going?
What's happening, y'all? The Comman's in the building. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Hey, all right, you guys. You guys already know how we start the show. We got to pay the bills today. So first off, we're gonna let Coach Cam kick it off with us today.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry and Accessories. Home of the $5 jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. Hit up Suzanne Paparazzi's www.paparazziaccessories.com. Code 160920. Hey, let's get it. It's Christmas time. We only got about 8 more days. Hit up the $5 jewelry, baby. Suzanne Paparazzi.
So Cam, you mean to tell me that I can buy my lady, my mom, a friend, some jewelry for $5?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to buy your lady that for $5. You know, that might get you in trouble. But a friend or something like that, you definitely can hit up Suzanne Paparazzi's for $5.
Man, that's good to know. Man, see, this network not just providing you with good sports, but we're giving you the low on some jewelry. Hey, Chris, you know, we got this thing going over here at the network, you know, where the fans, the viewers be able to win something. Tell them about that.
Yes, you know, for everybody out there watching, what I want you to do is like the video, share the video, like the page, share the page. At the end of the month, we tally everything up, and we're going to crown the person that does it the most, the viewer of the month, and that viewer of the month gets their very own free ASAP Network T-shirt.
Now, let's say, you know, they're working or something, and they're not able to comment on the video. How and they still want a T-shirt? What other way can they? How else can they get the T-shirt?
You know, what I want you to do is message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Search our $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let us know your information, your size. Like I said, search our $14.99 plus shipping and handling. You're going to get those shirts ASAP.
Now, is there another way they can find us, Chris? Like our previous episodes, anything like that?
Well, if you want to listen to the audio versions, you know, throughout, you know, if you want to listen to the audio versions the next day after the show goes live, you can find us out on all major audio platforms at ASAP Sports. Like I said, all major audio platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, ASAP Sports.
All right, cool. We got one last one. Oregon made Mystic Meadows, Jam and more. You can check them out at 48053 Highway 101 South South in Brandon, Oregon, or you can give them a call at 541-347-2575. All right, gentlemen, let's get it rolling.
Yes, sir.
There's only one way. There's only one way, we start real talk off. We started off every day the same way. It's a hot take. We're going to start an NFL hot take. This one we're going to start with Chris Brown. Chris, what is your hot take for the NFL?
Okay. Sunday at 4:05 on Fox, my Philadelphia Eagles go against the Arizona Cardinals. Now I know no dancing on you with your word today. I don't dance. I don't dance. I don't like your comment at all, D. But anyway, Sunday 4:05, my Eagles go against the Arizona Cardinals. Now I know my Eagles are banged up, but with that being said, I still like Jalen Hurts leading this team to get a victory against the Arizona Cardinals, and here's why. For some reason, Doug Peterson just loves running the ball now. For some reason, when Miles Sanders has been averaging over 4 or 5 yards a carry, he's only getting less than 14 attempts. For some reason, he wants to run the ball more now. So we can run the ball, and we're going to be able to stop Arizona's run. And somehow we can hold D-Hop, and we can get after Kyler Murray. I'm confident that this Eagles team will be able to beat. Don't say it. I don't know what you're talking about, D. You confused me. Point being is that my hot take is that my Eagles will beat the Arizona Cardinals. And not beat them, we're going to destroy them. I'm seeing us putting over 30 points, and I'm seeing us holding them to less than 17. That's how I'm feeling right now. Even though with the injuries, I love what this Eagles offense is finally being able to do. And if we're moving and grooving like that against the number one defense in the NFL, I think we're going to do the Cardinals. Come on now.
All right. Brian, what's your hot take for the NFL?
Hot take for the NFL. You got a lot of people that's in love with Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. I'm not too fond of him, and I actually think that Justin Herbert, the rookie, is better than Josh Allen is right now.
That's a hot take right there.
Cool. Coach Cam, give me a hot take, brother.
Man, it's a hot take, and it's more of inside scoop detail, man. As bad as we are, my Cincinnati Bengals, it sounds like Zach Taylor coming back. And I didn't see it. I thought maybe you get 4 or 5 wins in 2 years. I thought, he was out the door. I thought, we would, see that a new coaching staff. But more and more I'm hearing, especially with the word that Geno Atkins may have played his last game here, and they're trying to root out those veterans. Sounds like Zach Taylor will be back again. So we'll find out soon. But the hot take is for me, Zach Taylor will come back for a third season for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Keep that thought, Coach Cam. Keep that thought in your mind.
Gotcha.
All right, Michael. Can you give us a hot take?
Yeah, my hot take is going to be New Orleans Saints. I'm anxious to see how they're going to bounce back. I'm anxious to see if Breeze is going to be able to play. I think it's going to be interesting to see how well the team gets together and performs. That's my hot take.
All right, cool. All right, gentlemen, let's keep it rolling. One thing that we do on this show is, from time to time, this next topic pops up around the time for time, and we have 2 randoms on here that's about to go head and head. So we about to go. All it says on my notes is Chris versus Coach Cam. So
yes,
bring it, gentlemen.
Yes. So it's not going to be head to head, but Coach Cam missed last week, and we're talking about which team should fire their coach. So, Coach Cam, you were saying that it's been reports that Zach Taylor is going to be returning. Tell us how you really feel about that.
Woo! Where do I start with that one, man? Zach Taylor, I've said it. I said about week 6 of last year. I said Zach Taylor is not the man for the job. And I've said it plenty of times on this show, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, it doesn't take me long to spot whether a coach is good, whether a coach is bad, whether he needs more time. It doesn't take long for me. The way he communicated with these veterans in the locker room that's been here 10 plus years, to me, was the writing on the wall. Last year, don't get me wrong, was I ready to move on from Andy Dalton? Absolutely. But you bench a man on his birthday without him knowing, and he comes in the team meeting and he's second on the depth chart. That's cowardly. You have a conversation with that man and say, hey, Before the team, I just want to let you know that we've decided to make Ryan Finley the starter. We want to see what this young kid can do and moving forward. And you, however he feels. But you told that man face to face, he's not blindsided by being in a team meeting and all of a sudden seeing depth chart, he's second. It's what happened with Carlos Dunlap this year. He looks up and, for the Baltimore game, he realized he's just a third down pass rusher. And he has no idea. He's completely blindsided by it. You force Geno Atkins, an all-pro player, a perennial Pro Bowler, one of the best D tackles outside of Aaron Donald we've seen in this decade. You force him to play with one arm, basically. He has shoulder problems from jump. Like, Geno Atkins has made 2 tackles this year. He can't play. Like, he's not physically. This staff has devalued these veterans and want to tell us, the fans, see, they can't play anymore, and they go somewhere else and tear it up. Dunlap got the most sacks on Seattle team in like 4 weeks. How? But yeah, he's playing outside linebacker for us and covering linebackers in the flat. Zach Taylor is inept. He had Joe Burrow throwing the ball 40, 50, 60 times. Week 2, Cleveland, he threw it 61 times. When he got hurt against Washington, it was 11 minutes left in the third quarter. He threw the ball 33 times already. It's ridiculous. Zach Taylor is in over his head. I told you he was a prime example of failing up. He's never succeeded anywhere, but somehow, some way, he's moved up the ladder. He's an awful coach. He should be fired. But unfortunately, the way the Brown family works, he will be back again.
Now, let me ask you another question. Mm-hmm. That little bit of culture, right, that was being built in Cincinnati. I mean, no, they weren't winning Super Bowls, but they were building on to something. Mm-hmm. How do you think Zach Taylor, what do you think he did with that culture? Do you think there's any culture left right now, or this is just a team that's went back to the old trash Cincinnati ways?
We're back in the 1990s. We're back in the 90s, and we're back in that era of where we're perennial losers. You have to think, Zach Taylor is the worst coach we had in our franchise. And honestly, that's hard to do when you've had Dave Shula, who was one of the worst coaches ever. He outdid him. Like, let's think about that for a second. Like, he's one of the worst. No, record-wise, over the first 25 games, he's the worst coach in the NFL history. So the culture of what Marvin Lewis, and that's the thing. You see the veterans lash out like Dunlap. You see the veterans lash out like an AJ Green during the early game this year. Talk about something. If they ain't gonna use me, trade me. It's because of this. They know what winning's like. They seen 5 straight playoff appearances. We was the 5th most winning team from 2011 to 2015. And they know what winning's like. And they know this is not it. So you're going to get that lash out. The culture is horrible right now. That's why you see people like Sean Williams stepping on people's legs, because you know what? It's like you're going to, cheap shot me. I'm going to cheap shot you back. We're not going to win anyway. Might as well play dirty. That's the type of culture we are now exhibiting, under Zach Taylor. It's a bad culture right now. Inside scoop that I get is that in the locker room, really, cats are just really keeping their mouth shut and just playing because they don't want to lose playing time. But there's nobody happy in that. I don't understand how Zach Taylor's back, honestly. But
I feel bad for you because he comes back next year and his excuse to losing record is, I don't have Joe Burrow, and he's gonna kill Joe Burrow, man.
And that's the thing. He was using Joe Burrow to try to save his job and put everything on this rookie. I mean, I've never seen a rookie have to come in day one, call out blitzes, check, just put everything in his hands like that. It's ridiculous, man.
All right, let's keep it moving. Let's hit some of these comments real quick. D's a privilege at its best. And Charlie Perry said, Trevor Lawrence doesn't want to play for the Jets, and the Jets still hasn't fired their coach. This kid is a generational quarterback, and they will miss out due to bad coaching. So
Sam Darnold's not a bad quarterback. Sam Darnold's not the reason why they're losing games. Sam Darnold's better than a lot of these quarterbacks right now.
They're him too.
Yeah, they're destroying Sam Darnold's name right now. You put him in Indianapolis, you put him in Pittsburgh, you put him in all these teams that need a quarterback. I'll save that for later. But Sam Darnold's on that list where organization and coaches are doing him dirty.
All right, John, let's move to the next game that's happening on this Sunday. Drew Brees, it's unclear if he'll play this Sunday or, it's still, it's still a possibility, but, it's up in the air. But the New Orleans Saints played against the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be interesting to see, Patrick Mahomes face off on his defense. I mean, let's just be clear. Patrick Mahomes is a bad man. He's in the MVP race this year. What is your thoughts on this game this upcoming week? Let's start with Brian on this one.
This game is going to come down to what coach can get their head out of their butt quicker. Because you got Sean Payton, who thinks that he's smarter than everybody else. That's why he gave Taysom Hill a bunch of money, and that's why he's forced to play him right now, even though Taysom Hill is not the best quarterback that they have available. So if he can never stop thinking that he's Bill Belichick and stop thinking he's smarter than everybody else, come to his senses and play an actual quarterback, then they'll have a chance against the Kansas City Chiefs. The way it's looking right now, you might as well count it as a loss for the Saints, which I'm not a Saints fan, so I'm happy.
All righty. We'll go with Michael on this one. Michael, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, right now, okay. Well, the Chiefs are favored by 3. New Orleans is coming off their first loss in 9 games. Kansas City's on an 8-game winning streak. I think it's going to come down to how well the defense plays against the Chiefs. I'm looking for a couple of matchups. Cameron Jordan right now is going against a guy who has been undrafted. His name is Yasir Durant. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Cameron right now has approximately 6.5 sacks during the season. I'm looking to see how he takes over going against the guy who's been undrafted. And obviously the big take is going to be Marshawn Lattimore versus Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a monster. I mean, I think he's probably the best receiver in the league. I think Marshawn Lattimore is going to have his hands full. But if he can somehow control Tyreek Hill, I think they have a great chance of winning the game.
All right, cool. Coach Cam, what is your thoughts on the game on this upcoming Sunday?
The only chance that the Saints have is they have to run the football effectively to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, which they could possibly do with Taysom Hill running the ball, Alvin Kamara, and things like that. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to, sustain long drives and score 7. They can't go down there and get 3 because Kansas City does not play around when they get in that red zone. They're going to get 7. You got Travis Kelce, red zone threat, all those weapons. So the important key for the Saints is to keep this thing close in the striking distance, run the ball, long drives, and finish with 7. You cannot finish with 3 or Kansas City will eat you alive.
All right, Chris. What is your thoughts on the game? Are you giving the Saints any chance?
I mean, the Saints have a chance. Like Coach Cam said, run the ball. Kansas City is one of the worst teams when it comes to, giving up yards on the ground. They're bottom 7. So if you're able to run the ball effectively, pick up first downs, and score 7, not 3. Because when you go against the Chiefs, they can literally score 7 whenever they want. They can score 24 points in 10 minutes. Like, this team can score whenever, wherever. It doesn't matter. They're instant offense. So you want to be able to take all points available. What I'm looking, I really want to see Taysom Hill's been sacked, 18 times in the last 4 or 5 games. He's been getting sacked a lot. So, but you look at Kansas City, they're not really getting after their quarterback. They only have 24 sacks this year. You got, Clark, and you got Chris Jones, and nobody else is really a good pass rusher. So if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, if you can get after, Taysom Hill, you're in a good chance to get a W. But if you're not being able to get after him, if you're not able to stop the run, then, you got to bank on your offense being this number 1 defense. Now, can it happen? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. But, I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Like kind of what Brian said, which head coach is really going to establish their dominance, which head coach is going to outcoach the other one, because we already know who wins the quarterback battle. So now it's which head coach can make the right decisions, which offense doesn't turn the ball over, and which defense gets the most stops. I seen somebody in the comments, I think D said, this is the Super Bowl preview. I would be more confident in that if, Drew Brees was playing, but with him not playing, I'm not going to call this the Super Bowl preview. I do, however, think this is going to be a very good game, one of the best games this season.
All right, because I believe this was the same game last year. They had, one of the highest scoring games. I believe it was the Chiefs and the Saints last year. But let's move. If nobody else don't want to touch anything else on this topic, let's move to the next topic. All right. Russell Wilson started as one of the candidates to be MVP last year. But we all can agree that, he didn't fell off. I mean, the whole team has not played great, but I mean, let's face it, the dude have too many interceptions to be classified as the MVP this year. I mean, he's not top. He might be top 5, but he's not top 3. Let's just be honest. I mean, if you think he's top 3, then it's clearly something wrong. But hey, do the Seahawks have a chance to make it back to number one in the division? And Chris, I don't know why you're looking that way. We're not gonna get another subject, but I don't know why you're looking that way. But Chris, do you think the Seahawks can come back to win the division?
First of all, you stop disrespecting this man's name.
How am I being disrespectful? He's not MVP, sure.
Saying he's not in the top 3. Which other
He's
two?
not.
Why isn't he? Over 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns,
Patrick Mahomes,
70% completion percentage.
Derrick Henry, he's
Come on now, we all know a running back's not getting MVP. So we all know a running back's not getting MVP, Freddie. I'm sorry, no running backs get MVP.
Look at those interceptions.
Okay, and you know how many games? If it was for them, they're not winning anything. I think you fail to realize what most valuable players stand for. We're not going to get into this conversation. We're not okay, whatever. Say what you guys say. Be quiet. Now, the question is, can they still win their division? It's really going to come down to, week 16 when the Rams go against the Seahawks again. Because when I look at their schedule, so the last 3 games, the Seahawks has Washington, the Rams, and the 49ers. The Rams have the Jets, Seattle, and Arizona. I really like, the Rams winning those 2. I like them being the Jets for sure, and I like them being Arizona. When I look at the Seahawks, Washington this week is going to be tricky because you got a dominant defense going after them, and we've seen Seattle struggle against a great defense. The Rams, that's going to be the game it's going to come down to, and even the 49ers, I think, is going to be tough. So right now, I'm kind of favoring more towards the Rams in winning this division. I am.
All right, Coach Cam, what is your thoughts on that?
I'm sticking with the Rams. Can the Seahawks win it? Yes. But I said from beginning when they were all tied
weeks ago,
I said the Rams will win this. I gotta stay with it. I think the Rams will find a way to win this division. The Jets you gotta say that's a gimme. I mean, it's in that field. I understand they're Jets back against the wall. And they're gonna try to win the game, but you gotta say that's a gimme there. And Arizona really down the stretch really hasn't scared me much there. And you know what? It's going to come down to that week 16 games where I just think the Rams, I trust the Rams a little bit more. I just don't know what I'm going to get with Seattle. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the team that played against the Giants, you know what I mean? Or, it's going to be one of those good performances that you get from Seattle. So I'm not sure what you're going to get. I know the Rams going to have, Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on that defense. And Jared Goff, like I said, he's up and down, but for the most part, McVay makes him, look a little bit better than what he is, and they scheme around him very well and make him comfortable. So if he can make a few throws, they'll be all right. And I got the Rams taking this division, though.
I definitely agree with each one of you guys. When you look at the Seahawks, you have Russell Wilson leading the show, but you gotta realize that their defense is a question. It's always have been a question. And what is that offensive line going to do against the opposing defense and protect Russell Wilson? But I'm still going to go with the Seahawks because I believe that Russell Wilson will come back to an MVP form like he was at the beginning of the season. He will carry this team, and he will find a way to win these next 3 games to get the number 1 seed in their division. Michael, what is your thoughts on the game?
Freddie, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm saying right now the Rams have an easier schedule. Again, they get the Jets, the Cardinals. I mean, they have an easier schedule, but I think the Seahawks, they have the experience. I think that they're gonna have a tough game against Washington, no doubt. But it all comes down to that game against the Rams because I think they can beat the 49ers. So I think it's gonna come down to the game against the Rams. But my money's with the Seahawks.
All right, Brian, are you going with the Seahawks or are you going with the Rams?
I'm going with the Seahawks. With the Rams, if the only thing I had to do was place my faith in the Rams defense, then I say the Rams all day because they have the better overall defense. But because I got to look at Jared Goff and the question mark that is Jared Goff, I trust Russell Wilson 10 times, 12 times, 100 times more than what I trust with Jared Goff. So I'll go with the Seahawks.
All right, gentlemen, we let's get starting to get heated up in here. Started getting hot. There's a lot of teams out there that's next year that's going to need a quarterback. This next question is, what team will need a quarterback? I'm gonna start this one off. I'm just gonna give a few teams' name off, then I'm gonna pass it on. I'm interested to see what Dallas Cowboys, what Jerry Jones is going to do with the Dak Prescott situation. I'm interested to see what the Eagles going to do with the Carson Wentz situation. I'm interested to see what the Jets going to do with the Sam Darnold situation. I mean, hey, the Eagles have a situation.
We have two quarterbacks. How do we need a quarterback, Freddie? Like what?
No, I'm not saying y'all need a quarterback. I'm saying you're going to unload one of them quarterbacks eventually. And so I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. I can see all three of them on the market on this upcoming season. Let's just be honest. I mean, like I said, that's another discussion for another day. I don't want to embarrass Chris Brown on the show today. Like
you have never embarrassed me.
I don't want to.
Let's ask the comments who embarrasses who.
I don't.
We're not going to talk about your mom. We're not going to talk about your mom's comment because she don't. That has your back.
I don't want to give them that show. I don't want to embarrass you with my takes because I was right on every one of them. I told you they're going to sit Carson Wentz.
Then why beat you in the debate? Why beat you in the debate?
You got on this show bragging about how you win, and I told you what you have to do to win, and I was right. But like I said, I can see the Colts get a new quarterback, the Chicago Bears need a quarterback, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need a quarterback. Those teams are a quarterback away from improving their roster and getting better and taking those franchises to the promised land, or at least competing to go to the promised land. Yeah, we'll start with this one. We'll go with Brian on this one. Brian, what team needs a quarterback?
Like you just said, it's a whole host of teams that need quarterbacks. But the two places that I'm interested in, the first one is New England. What if Bill Belichick can find him another quarterback? What is he going to be able to do to prove that it wasn't all just Tom Brady, and that's the reason why that he was winning? The second place I'm interested in is my team, the Atlanta Falcons. Because I've been wanting them to get rid of Matt Ryan and stop overpaying him to barely get me to the playoffs and then just poop the bed, man. So them two places that I'm looking for, New England, Atlanta. What you going to do?
All right, Michael. Michael, who needs to go out of quarterback this season in free agency?
I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons also because Matt Ryan he's getting older in the age. Matter of fact, and right now they have a chance to get a top 10 pick. And as it stands exactly right now, they have a chance to get a top 5 pick. Also, I think the Detroit Lions, Stafford is going on the age of 33. He's played 12 years. I think his game is going downhill. I definitely think the Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, and of course the Jets. Those are my picks.
That's
you making that face while I'm making that face?
Huh?
We got the same reaction?
No, that's. I'm shocked at the Matt Stafford.
Me too. That's my.
I can see why though.
Yeah, me too. I'm just shocked
at some point in time you got to move on. So I agree with you there. It was just a different angle. I didn't expect to hear that name, but I definitely agree.
It is time to move on, but I think he still got some juice left compared to some other guys.
All right, Coach Cam, let's run with it.
Oh man, who needs a quarterback? Oh man, it's plenty of people need a quarterback. Two places I'm looking at. San Francisco. Jimmy G ain't it for me. I think an upgrade there would solidify them as a Super Bowl contender. I mean, I really feel like if you put a decent quarterback in place of Jimmy G, they win that Super Bowl easy with the Chiefs. They find a way to seal the deal with that. They were trying to handcuff him and protect him and couldn't really win the game. They was just hoping to not to lose it, and that's why they end up losing there. So them and another team that I really want to as far as them looking at the quarterback position for me. And it's going to throw it out here for you, is the Indianapolis Colts. Remember, Phillip Rivers on the 1-year deal. He's been a game manager for them somewhat. He's made a couple plays, but it's like I feel like that team could be even better as too because he didn't use T.Y. Hilton. He's just now starting to get him involved. So Indianapolis, I think, could upgrade their spot. And I really think they could upgrade their Indianapolis. With Phillip Rivers, they could be even better than what they are now.
All right, Chris.
All right, since I'm the last guy, I'm gonna name some teams. Speaking of Indianapolis, I've been saying for a while, if they have a real quarterback, I'm sorry, they're in a Super Bowl race. If Andrew Luck stays the year he retired, they're one of the teams that can make a push for the Super Bowl. My worst nightmare is Carson Wentz goes to Indianapolis because he's back with his old OC. He's going to do his thing. So you got Indianapolis to the list. I look at the Giants. The Giants, their quarterback is the best quarterback. You look at the weapons they have, the numbers he's putting up, they could possibly be looking for a quarterback. We talked about the Steelers. Big Ben is getting old. Freddie, you making that face. He got more interceptions than touchdowns. What's the face made for?
Go ahead. I'll get down to you.
I really just said that because you pissed me off. That's all. I wasn't even going to say that.
That's the only reason why you said it.
But on a serious note, it's the Colts, but it's one team that I've been saying, right? And Nate, if you're watching this, I don't apologize for what I'm about to say. The Denver Broncos replacing Drew Lock. I said and I said this in our group message. Drew Lock is like Tim Tebow. You love Tim Tebow. You'll root for Tim Tebow. Not the best quarterback. He might win you a game here and there. He may win you one playoff game. But what happened when you replace Tim Tebow with a great quarterback in Peyton Manning? You have a great offense one year. You make it to 2 Super Bowls. Now, I'm not saying, Brian, hold that thought because I feel like you about to say something crazy. I'm not saying you're going to get the next Peyton Manning. But I'm saying, to me, you add a real quarterback with this team, with that running game, with all the weapons around them, with that defense when healthy, a quarterback that can win you games. This team is going to be the second best team in their division. I don't think they're going to be better than Kansas City off rip, but they do have a chance to make it in the playoffs, and they can beat anybody. When they're fully healthy with a great quarterback, this team, to me, I thought it was going to be when Von Miller, when everybody was healthy, I had this team being like 10-6. I did. So with the real quarterback, everybody healthy, look out for the Denver Broncos.
I was just going to come over the top with it because when you said replace them with a good quarterback, and then you were talking about Peyton Manning, they replaced him with a broke down quarterback and got to the Super Bowl and won one
on HGH. But we're not going to get into that though. We're not going to get into that.
No, don't do that.
Even with HGH, he still thought he was looking like he was done. He was toast, and they still won. So
now I got a question now. Should the Broncos trade and get a Matt Ryan or Matt Stafford?
Stafford over Ryan. I think I would go with Stafford over Ryan. I have to look at, especially if I'm pretty sure Stafford's younger, right?
Yeah, Stafford's younger.
I gotta go Stafford because this team is other than Von Miller, they got some kind of old guys, but you got young receivers and a young offense. So I want to add a young but veteran type of quarterback. Because Stafford, we talking about arm talent, ladies and gentlemen. There's a difference between arm talent. The accolades in your team help win you Super Bowls. There's a difference. We talking about pure arm talent. Matthew Stafford is a top 5 quarterback in this game. When you're talking about solely on arm talent, not, of course he's playing with the Lions, one of the worst franchises of all time. But what he can do with that ball in his hand, he is top 5 when it comes to arm talent. So you add him with the real offense and a very good team. Come on now. He might make it to the Hall of Fame because the stats look good. You had a Super Bowl and some more stats, he might make it to the Hall of Fame.
And that's going to be the one reason why I was going to say Matt Ryan wouldn't work in Denver because you playing in an outdoor stadium and it's cold, and he doesn't have the arm for that. That's why that's the only reason why he's been as successful as he has been in Atlanta because they got that dome, and you playing in the South, so you got Tampa and everybody else you're playing against. You don't have to worry about that weather.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting to go back at Chris Brown, what he said about.
It's not that deep. I'm not trying to hear you talk.
No. I'll let you have your chance to talk, and now it's my time to talk. You talking about the Giants need a new quarterback. What makes you think the Giants are going to give up on Daniel Jones so quick? They gave up a high draft pick on him. Really? Stop it. Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. He's not the problem with New York. The New York need to put an offensive line around him with some weapons around him. He's a good quarterback. We see what he can do with his legs. We see what he can do. He has the most rushing yards this year as a quarterback. Let's not be disrespectful. When he get an offensive line, put weapons around him, Then we can judge him accordingly. Until then, we cannot say it's Daniel Jones. I mean, let's stop it.
Are you done now? Can we move on now?
Let's put some respect on his name.
I'm not entertaining this because
We don't
I'm
have
not trying to hurt your feelings.
over here.
I'm really not trying to hurt your feelings, Mr. Green Bay Packers
hurt my
fan.
feelings
You talk
over
about the
here.
Packers more than you talk about the Giants.
You
Like
can't hurt my
since we
feelings
put it
over
out there in the beginning of the year, you said I'm giving up on Daniel Jones. I'm giving up on the
I did not
Giants.
say that.
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm out. Let's move
I
on.
never
Please.
said I was
Can we
giving up on
please?
Daniel
Can we
Jones.
please move on? Can we, Freddie? I'm begging you. Can we?
Hmm.
I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Can we
You
please?
can't hurt
move
my
on?
feelings, player.
Like you said, you're giving up on the Giants. You're giving up on Daniel Jones. You was questioning if he's the quarterback, but now since they won a couple games, you're a Giants fans again. I'm not trying to.
Pull up the film.
I'm not trying to go. Okay, I will
Pull
pull
up
up
the
the film.
film.
I'm gonna post it on the ASAP Network, all platforms. So I'm gonna hold you accountable. Let's move on.
No, I posted on the last show I'm on here.
I mean, I'm not taking all the time to go back and look. That's gonna take too much
Exactly.
time. It's months ago.
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
Freddie. All right, Freddie.
Exactly. Let's move to
All
the
right,
next
Freddie.
topic, gentlemen. All right. What is your early dark horse surprise in the NFL playoffs? Coming up to the NFL playoffs, what NFL team will surprise you and will surprise everybody in the playoffs? Chris?
No, I'm not trying to go first. I got a headache, man. I got a headache.
Let Michael go first. He ain't
I
went
hate
first tonight.
I'll take it over. In the other NFC, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. They haven't reached their full potential yet, and as we all know, Brady's tough in the playoffs. I'm definitely gonna go with Tampa Bay. In the AFC, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Buffalo's on the road. I like the way they're playing, and it's not how you start; it's how you finish. I'm gonna definitely go with Buffalo.
All right, Coach Graham.
Dark horse, man. I'm gonna stick with them. They lost Monday night, but Cleveland Browns. They still had a recipe to win in the playoffs. Running the football. Defense concerned me a little bit on Monday night. However, but like I said, with Chubb and Hunt, when that snow come and that cold weather come, that always, translate into wins in the playoffs. So I'm gonna stick with the Browns on that as being a dark horse to kind of mess things up. And in the NFC, that's tough, but
Don't steal my team. Don't steal my team.
I'm gonna have to go with them.
Don't steal my team.
I'm gonna go with the Washington football team.
That's why you my guy, because we think it's just alike.
The Washington football team, that defense can travel, you know what I mean? And also, if they get Antonio Gibson back, who is one of the it's not a surprise. It's a surprise around the league, but it's not a surprise to me as being a UC fan and watching Memphis, and playing against them twice a year last year. Antonio Gibson was a very good pick for them. One of the best rookie running backs in the class. And if he comes back healthy and that defense playing tough, man, that's a recipe to travel. So I could see them, winning the first playoff game at home that they'll get if they win a division, and and possibly sneaking up and upsetting some teams in that second round.
All right, Chris.
I mean, this is why me and Coach. This is why I bang with Coach Cameron. I bang with you because he knows sports, you don't. But my bad. I only said that because I see Shield in the comments. That's the only reason why I said that. But on a seriousness note, I do. Gotcha. I do like Cleveland. I do like Cleveland though because when you look at the playoffs, they got an offense and a defense that travels. Their defense, is hit or miss, but at times it can be really, really good. When you got a team that can dominate on the ground and a quarterback that you just hope, we hope that can make the right throws on play action. But he's shown that this year, this probably has been his best season with a better offense. I mean, this team is going to be a team that's going to compete. Depending on who they play, they can win. They have a game plan that travels in the playoffs, that travels in the heat or the cold, because not a lot of teams are equipped to play in cold weather. Up in Cleveland, they're equipped to play in that cold weather. So I like them in AFC, really shocking a lot of people. And like Coach Cam said, if this team ends up winning their division, I mean, this defense in Washington, 40 sacks, holding teams to under 37% on third downs. I mean, defense wins championships. We've seen great defenses carry over and win some games. And, if they can run the ball, if, Alex Smith, Mr. Dump It Down, can get some of these guys open, depending on who they play in the first round, I really see them shocking a lot of people because teams are scared of great defenses, especially when it's cold. They're scared of hard-nosed, punch you in the mouth defenses. And that's what Washington has right now. They have the pass rush. They have the they got guys that make plays. They got 11 or 12 interceptions so far this year. I mean, their defense is dominant. So I really like those two teams, really shocking a lot of people. And, Michael, you said Buffalo. The reason why I didn't go with Buffalo, because Buffalo is one of them top teams for me, and I love Buffalo. That's why I didn't want to say they're going to shock people. So I think they're going to go out and dominate. But we're going to say that for later.
All right, cool. Let's move it on. Brian, what team's going to surprise everybody in the playoffs?
NFC, I agree with Coach and Chris. It's got to be Washington. Now, the only question mark I have with them is who's going to be the quarterback. That's the only question mark I have with them right now. Other than that, I mean, all around they got a pretty good team, and I think they should be able to surprise some people in the playoffs. Now, AFC, I'm looking at the Miami Dolphins. They got a defense. They getting the offense together, depending on if Tua can keep his head on straight and play like like Justin Herbert's playing right now. This confident football. I think the Dolphins will be able to do something if they can sneak into one of those wild card spots.
All righty. Do anybody want to rebuttal on this topic or anything like that before we get to the next one? All righty. Well, let's move on to the top 5 power rankings in the NFL. This one right here might get a little heated because everybody's list might be different. It might be the same. So as of right now, who is the top 5 NFL teams as of right now? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Chris on this one.
No, I haven't heard you talk in a while. I need you to set the tone, Freddie.
Hey, I want you to go first.
No, I haven't heard you. I didn't hear you last topic. I didn't hear
it. Go first. I go first. So mine's gonna be easy.
No, they call for me. I don't run. I don't run from anything.
I want to because I didn't hear you last topic, so I gotta hear you go first.
All right, let's roll. Number 1. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going with that bad man and Aaron Rodgers. Number 1. That's what everybody thought I was going. I'm not going that route. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, you got to face it. You know, with the record they have, they're a bad mess. He's a great quarterback. We know what he's capable of doing. He's the runner up for MVP this year, and he's doing his thing. Number 2, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. Why? Because you have that bad man in Aaron Rodgers that we know that he is, and he will be the MVP this year. Let me repeat that. He will be the MVP this year. So put some respect on his name. That's number 2. And number 3, it's just impressive what this team is doing without Drew Brees. When he got hurt, we all thought this team was just going to stumble. But with this defense and what Sean Payton has actually done is that he should. You guys have mentioned on this show that he should be the runner-up for Coach of the Year. What he's able to still do, even though he had the wrong quarterback in the game, but we got to say that they can still win games, even though they blew it against the Eagles. The New Orleans Saints should be number 3. I mean, let's just be honest, okay? And then number 4. You're talking about a team. I don't have the Steelers on my top 5. I just don't, just because we know what they do for less competition. And number 4, I'm sorry, I have the Buffalo Bills, they're 10-3. They're a sleeper team. They're going to be a team that's going to sneak up on somebody in the AFC, maybe like a Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry, Madison. Just had to say it. They're my number 4 just because that reason. They're a sleeper team. They will find a way to win. And number 5, I know this is gonna be different from everybody else, but I gotta do it. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Why? It's just because they have improved since last year. They improved this year. They keep getting better. Baker Mayfield is finally coming into. These last couple of weeks, Baker Mayfield have looked good. He stopped making all those dang old commercials and started playing football. And the team is looking good on the defensive end, the tight ends, the running backs, the receivers. Even with the Odell Beckham Jr. getting hurt, that's my top 5. Now, Chris, it is your turn.
All right, Mr. Packers fan. I'm glad that you gave everybody your top 5. I'm surprised that Packers weren't number 1 because everybody knows how much you love the Packers and that they're your favorite team.
I love Aaron. I like Aaron Rodgers, not the Packers.
Yeah. Okay. You're done. Number 1, to me, unanimous. It has to be Kansas City. it has to be Kansas City. I don't see any other team better than them. I think they're by far the favorites. I think they're by far the best team in the NFL. I don't think it's a lot of explaining to do. Number 2, I'm going Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Buffalo guy. Brian City. Okay, I don't want you in here anyway. I don't like you. But anyway, I'm going Buffalo. I mean, we always say you gotta. I've been saying it all year. You gotta win in the trenches. I don't trust the Packers in the trenches. I don't trust the Packers in the playoffs. I don't know if I can trust their weapons. I don't know if I can trust that defense. It's just a lot of trust issues right now I have with the Packers. So they're not number 2, but they are my number 3. Regardless, you do have Aaron Rodgers. Regardless, you do have Devontae Adams. You do have a good running game. You can make things happen. So the Packers, to me, I got them at number 3. Number 4, I have the New Orleans Saints. My thing with New Orleans and why I kind of have a little bit lower is that, I think they're a good team, but without Drew Brees, are they going to win anything? I think that, and I don't think they're winning anything. So the only reason they're really on my list is because I got faith that, Drew Brees is going to come back and help them win. And they still are, even without him, a very good football team. Number 5, man, I'm not going to lie. I got to go to Rams. I mean, this is a team that's showing that they can run the ball. This is a team, when I look at a lot of other quarterbacks, I like, sad to say, I kind of like Goff over some of these other quarterbacks. And, when you got a running game, you got offensive weapons, you got an offensive scheme, and you got a great defense. I'm sorry. When I look at these other teams, they got one thing, they don't have the other. The Rams have both. When you got a team that can run the ball, you got a quarterback, you got weapons, and you can dominate on the defensive side. You got the most dominant defense alignment in the game. You got a shutdown corner. That's a recipe for success. So that's my top 5.
Chris, you must didn't listen to the question. You talking about playoffs. I said top 5 teams as of right now.
Yeah, I know. And I was explaining why they're going to be good right now and in the
Why are
playoffs.
the Packers number 3 talking about I can't trust them in the playoffs?
I can't trust them right now. I still like the Bills over them. I said right now in the playoffs.
Oh, you smoke. We need to get you drug tested.
Man, I need to get you drug tested.
Like
they got the same. I'm confused. I'm confused now. They got the same record. So why is one team automatically so much better than the other? What's up? What's up? What did they show me? What did they show me that they better than the Bills?
Coach Cam, we need to take him to the doctor. He need to get a vaccine right now.
Freddie, I'm not gonna lie. Your jokes aren't funny at all. They're laughing at me. You look good.
Coach Cam, give us your top 5 teams as of right now.
My list. Okay, hold on, Coach Cam, before you go, to clarify, everybody, that was my list for right now. But I'm saying for the future, because these are the best 5 teams of football right now, and I'm explaining why some of these best 5 teams, why they're my team right now, and why they won't be successful in the playoffs. This is my list for right now. This is not my list in the playoffs because it'd be a whole different list. So stop trying to put words in my mouth.
Man, you need to go get drugged.
Yeah, you need to shut up.
Coach Cam.
I'm coming with all the smoke.
All right. Number 1, Kansas City. We're not going to spend much time on them. Too many ways to skin a cat. Too many ways to win. Even when it seemed like they play C-level ball, they still find a way to win. That gives you, that lets you know that how much of a good team you are. Number 2, man, I don't think you should be drug tested at all. It's the Buffalo Bills, and here's why. They're one of the most complete football teams in the NFL, offensively, defensively. They rush the passer, they get after. They got a great secondary with Tre'Davious White and Micah Hyde. And Stephon Diggs has propelled that offense to another level and finally gave Josh Allen a weapon to
number 1, and he's top.
And he's a true number 1. So I like Stephon Diggs. I really do. And I like what they, how he elevated that offense. Number 3, I do have the Green Bay Packers. I have the Green Bay Packers at 3. Solid team. Been rolling here as of late. So I'm anxious to see what they do. Right now, they are looking like the NFC's best team right now. At 4, I have the New Orleans Saints. They keep that train rolling. Like I said, I didn't think Taysom Hill was the one. I still don't think he's the one. However, they're playing their butts off. They're finding a way to win games still and keep that train rolling. At number 5, I'm sorry, man. I understand they lost 2 games, but I'm not just gonna sit up here and just keep Pittsburgh Steelers out. 11-2 is 11-2. This is a team that won 11 straight games to open, and that's hard to do in the NFL. We see teams lose to bad teams every week. We see upsets happen every week. they ran into a good Buffalo team. They ran into some of these, teams, some of these solid teams. So, and even like Washington football, we talk about them as a dark horse. So losing to those teams ain't no shame. I just feel like, it's to that point of the season where it's a gut check time for Pittsburgh. And I understand. And unfortunately, my Bengals are set up to play them on Monday night. And they're going to obliterate us because they lost 2 straight. And they'll have, and they're looking to get back on track. And right now, we to get on track team. You lose 2 straight, play the Bengals, you go get back on track. So, I got Pittsburgh at 5.
There's one team I'm curious there if anybody's going to name them, and if nobody names them, I gotta shout them out at the end because they're doing a thing this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do need to make an announcement concerning to the All Sports All Plays Network. You do not have to be alarmed. We're going to pay for Chris Brown and Coach Cam to get drug tested on tomorrow.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bro, you know how corny that is, man. This is what we say you're a Packers fan because you're not rooting for Aaron Rodgers. You're rooting for the Green Bay Packers to be number 2. It's not a top quarterback list. It's a top team list. So why are you so upset that the Packers not number 2?
Because y'all not giving them no respect. But that's another topic for the day. Time is running out. That's another topic for another day. The time is running out. Brian, give us your top 5 teams as of right now.
My list is gonna be real easy. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. 2 through 5, put anybody in there. It really don't matter. You're talking about the same team over and over and over again. They have a fatal flaw in one particular spot that's going to cause them to either lose the game or, hell, they might just win it. I don't really have fully trust or faith in anybody 2 through 5 to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So anybody.
I'm not gonna lie. I ain't mad at that because he's not wrong. He's really not wrong. It's Kansas City and everybody else is right here.
There go Mike.
All right, Michael. Educate the youngsters, please. Educate them, please.
Well, I'm going with my top 5. I'm gonna go KC. It's a wrap. My number 2 team is New Orleans. My number 3 team is Buffalo. My number 4 team is Green Bay, and my number 5 team is Pittsburgh. Sorry about that, Freddie.
All right,
this is why we call you a Packers fan because you're not upset. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers. You defend them more than you defend your Giants. Like it's crazy.
Call me whatever you want. I know what's up. So let's go on and move down. Chris, we have some viewers on the show today. Tell them about a little competition we have going on over here at the All Sports All Plays Network.
I see a lot of people in the comments keep commenting, comment on the video, like the page, share the page. At the end of the month, we're going to tally everything up. We're going to crown that person viewer of the month, and that viewer of the month is going to get their very own ASAP Network t-shirt. And if you're watching this, but you're not in the comments, what I want you to do is message us on Facebook, message us on Twitter, message us on Instagram. Search our $14.99 plus shipping and handling, $14.99 plus shipping and handling. You're going to get your very own ASAP Network t-shirt.
All righty. Let's keep moving. Just like we did on the NFL side, let's do it on the NBA side. This is all right. We got one guy in there. Hey, D, message your page, and one of the guys will get on there and they'll get you a shirt order. All right. Just like how we started on the NFL side, we're going to do an NBA hot take. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an historian on the network. We have a guy that's all NBA. Hey, really, he's all sports. I mean, look, he just hangs in there on the NFL segment. You see him on Sports Corner. You see him on the pregame show on Sunday. So he's well-rounded, but he takes pride in the NBA. Michael.
Yes, sir.
Give us a hot take for the NBA.
Wow. A hot take in the NBA. I'm looking forward to see how the season goes. I mean, there's so many topics. You can go with the Harden. You can go with Westbrook. You can go with how that's going to work out. You're going to obviously got to bring up the Brooklyn Nets, how that's going to turn out. So my major hot pick is probably going to be the Brooklyn Nets and how they're going to work together as a team and how they fit in to get in.
All righty. We'll go with Chris on this one.
Now, this is a hot take. And my hot take, it's going to be hot. It's going to be spicy. But I'm going to throw in a little bit of facts behind it so you understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Now, Philadelphia, we got a new head coach, a new GM, looking like a whole new team. And I'm happy. You should have seen me, when we made all these moves. I was happy. And there's a guy on our roster, Joel Embiid. I think he's going to have the most dominant, year as a center this year. I think Joel Embiid is going to make a strong case for MVP. And here's why. Doc Rivers came out and said we didn't run no plays for Joel Embiid in the preseason. And in 17 minutes, Joel Embiid got 18 points. He had 3 or 4 jumpers like everybody else out there go in and out, especially the three-pointers that were in and out. So he had 2 3-pointers right there. That's 24 points in 17 minutes, and they didn't run any plays. With the space and the shooting around him, Joel Embiid is going to have the year like he had in 2017, 2018, where he averaged 27, 14, and 2 blocks. But this year, with a better head coach and more shooters, I think Joel Embiid is going to average over 30 points this year. I think Joel Embiid is going to average 13, 14 rebounds this year. I think Joel Embiid is going to make a strong case for the MVP, and he might actually win it this year, depending on, how many games he plays, because that's what it's really going to come down to. It's going to depend on how many games he plays, but I do think he's going to dominate as far as the center position, show why he's the best center in the game, and he's going to make that strong case for the MVP.
All right. Brian, let's go and give us an NBA hot take.
NBA hot take. Denver Nuggets,
Easy.
Western Conference Final against the Lakers.
Mm.
Game 7,
Rematch.
they're going to win.
I ain't mad at it.
Nuggets in the finals. That's what
I'm
I'm
mad
mad
at
at.
All right, Coach Cam, give us a hot take.
Hot take, man. I know it's 2 up and coming teams. And I hate to do it. I think I gotta do this to Chris because I know he like these teams.
Oh, okay. You're not talking about
No, not the 6. I'm not coming for them. 2 teams that people think that's on the rise. Hawks, Suns won't make the playoffs.
Oh,
Because, and this is why, short off season, COVID, a lot of teams that have a lot of new pieces are going to struggle early to get cohesiveness, to get timing, all this kind of stuff. You have a shortened season, 72 games instead of 82. 10 games a big difference. That could make or break you. They on my list until they prove me wrong. Y'all know what can go wrong.
will go
Will
wrong.
go wrong with these 2 franchises. And I understand they got Chris Paul. I love Chris Paul. I know he can possibly
That's
elevate.
hurt.
But the thing is, Chris Paul getting up in age. Can we rely on him to have a relatively healthy season like OKC? And we have to remember, he had 3 months off. There was a break to help him stay healthy. This is going to be huge. I haven't seen Chris Paul stay healthy, and with the Hawks, it's just like they're the Hawks. Something bad's going to happen. I don't know what, but something bad's going to happen. So I picked those 2 teams not to make the playoffs this year.
I got to rebuttal real quick now, but the Hawks, not mad at that. I do feel like it's going to take more time for them to adjust and them to get ready. But when I look at Phoenix and why I just had to disagree just a little bit, is because when I look at the Hawks and what they added, their main kind of guys, they don't have the experience of a Chris Paul, of a Jay Crowder. Rondo's not going to be the big role like Bogdanovich is going to be, and their team, is way more younger to me than what the Suns team is and what they got going on. And I'm liking the experience over there with Phoenix. The with the Hawks, you can say they're in the East. It's going to be easier for them to probably sneak into the playoffs. But I'm liking the Suns. It's hard. I understand why you're saying they're new teams, not a lot of time. That's just hard, though. I don't see the Suns not. I want to see the Suns not making the playoffs. The Hawks, maybe the Suns, though. I think me. They both to me going to be a top 6 seed in both their conferences, in my opinion.
I just don't know who the Suns really outside of OKC. Who do you like? Who do you put them like necessarily above?
Above the Kings, the Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, garbage.
Let's see. Freddie, you say you're delusional. Take real quick, and let me pull this up real quick. Nancy, that's a good question.
Because I like.
Oh, the Spurs. I like them over the Spurs. I like them over the Pelicans. Let's see who's in the Western Conference.
Now
I low key like them over GSW.
Ooh,
I like
okay.
them. I like them over the Rockets. I like them over Memphis.
Over Rocket?
I like them over the Jazz.
Acting fool the other night now.
Yeah.
Ja Morant
With no Jaren Jackson, with no Jaren Jackson though.
That's true.
I know Jaren Jackson is Ja Morant's here, but Jaren Jackson is that guy that's giving you 20 plus, the best shooter on that team at the power forward position with the defense. They
Yeah, now no
they're
Jaren
going to
Jackson.
struggle. They're going to struggle without him.
I give you that. I give you that.
Now, let me take some back. I kind of draw it on the Rockets there. I think they're going to be a little bit similar, but I do like them above the Jazz and all those other teams. The Rockets, I don't know. I don't know with them. To me, y'all know how I feel about the Rockets, but that's neither here nor there. But I like them over a lot of teams though in the West. I'll be honest.
Okay.
You know, my hot take changed 2 or 3 times a day. I was going back and forth thinking, but man, this is going to be a hot take here. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, LeBron James has been the best player in the game for a long time now, a long, long time. But Coach Cam, don't worry. I think this year will come to an end, that we can finally say somebody will be better than him. I think this year, hey, it was close this year. I'm not going to lie.
No, it wasn't.
He's going to be on his same team, Anthony Davis.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that.
Hey, what Anthony Davis done last year, and the reason why I say this, not because I don't believe LeBron's going to play every game. I think Anthony Davis is going to carry his Lakers
not playing every game either
during the season this year. During the season, we know what LeBron going to do when it comes post game. He's going to turn it up a whole nother notch. But during the season, we're going to see Anthony Davis carry this Laker team. I mean, the last year the dude averaged like 27 points. He shot 33% from 3, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, stealing 2 blocks a game. I mean, this dude was dominant. I mean, this dude, you see the dude in the bubble, in the playoffs. This dude, he was just, he was elite. Then in LA, and so this year, I believe Anthony Davis will become the best. Will take the number 1 spot as the best player this year, only because of COVID. But if it wasn't for COVID and a regular trainer, training camp, preseason, normal time to rest, things will be different. But just because of short turnaround, that's going to change the game.
Freddie, here, like I said, here's why I don't think it's going to happen this season, but I've been an Anthony Davis fan since Kentucky, and I do believe he's probably one of the most talented guys in the league. But the reason why I don't like him taking over this season, he's not going to play every game, for one. He's not playing every game. For two, knock on wood, sad to say, Anthony Davis has injury problems like every single year. In the bubble, he was not. He was playing with 70%. That's why he was getting hurt every 2 minutes in the finals. He wasn't healthy. So for Anthony Davis, just how I feel about Joel Embiid, the only way they can take that next step is if they play a certain amount of games. If Anthony Davis plays 50 out of the 72 games, So, but I do think, hey, I'm not saying Anthony Davis is a bum. I was surprised you went there. I was surprised you went there because LeBron's not giving that thing up for another 2 to 3 years. I'm sorry. Unless Giannis goes on to win the championship, unless KD average 35 and win the championship. Yeah,
Luka.
Luka's turn is going to be the next 3 to 5 years. But right now, it's still LB.
All righty. Well, let's move on. Let's go and move to the next topic. Man, we just talked about Chris just mentioned Giannis. When I said he said Giannis just got paid. You talking about a payday. Man, he reached to a 5-year deal extension, $228 million. I believe I'm correct on that. But the question is, did he make the right decision? Like, should he sign with the Bucks, or should he waited during the season to see what they did in the postseason, and then resign, or should he look elsewhere? We'll go with Coach Cam on this one.
I'm happy for Giannis, man. Obviously,
say how you really feel.
No. I wanted him to be a free agent so he could come to my Dallas Mavericks and play with KP and Luka. That was a dream. That was a dream of mine. But all in all, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him for getting his money, and I'm not mad at him for trying to win one in Milwaukee, because it's like the Dirk thing, If you win one in Milwaukee, you're a legend forever. You're gonna be considered one of the top players to ever play this game, and and your legacy will be cemented forever. Then you could do what you want to do. So I'm not mad at him because he can always get traded later on, request a trade later. No one has player mobility like an NBA player, so you can always say, "Hey, I want out," but you still got that supermax contract under your belt. It's all about getting paid first, man. Honestly, I know a lot of people say, get your ring, but get your money first, because it's a business first. And I'm not mad at Giannis at all for staying, because it gives him a chance to really cement his legacy, not only in NBA history, but, for Milwaukee as well. He'll be probably one of the biggest figures ever there if he can get a ring. So I'm not mad at him. Obviously, I wanted to come to my Mavs, but I'm not mad at him for returning because Dirk was a superstar that I respected because he stayed.
All right, Brian, what do you think about that?
I look at it the same way I saw Kevin Garnett in Minnesota. You sign your big deal, you make your money, and before you're 30 years old, you're getting ready to sign a new contract anyway. At that point in time, Giannis would be 28 at the end of that contract, still in his prime. Go somewhere else if you ain't won a championship yet. You still got $200 million in the bank, and at that point, you're not worried about what your payday is because you already got paid. You go to a contender to make sure you can get your ring, period.
There it is.
All right, we'll go with Michael on this one. Michael, what's your thoughts on it?
I think it was a great move for him to go and stay with Milwaukee because historically Milwaukee has not had as you know me, I'm a historian. They have not had a very good team for the last 25 years. And not only does him signing with Milwaukee help out Milwaukee, it helps out teams that are more of a small market, which is going to make more money for other players. And also, I think he'll be able to attract more players to come to Milwaukee, just for what you guys were saying. Get that bag, and then they can move on. So I think a lot of players who might not want to go to a Milwaukee will now say, okay, I can go to Milwaukee, play 3-4 years, make my money, and then if things don't work out, I can go up somewhere else. But to answer that question, he made a great move for himself, for his family, for the city, for the NBA. Because what he's doing by staying in Milwaukee, he's creating more parity in the league. Now, if he go and jump like these other players have, the NBA could be a little bit shaky. But I like the fact that he's staying in Milwaukee, and also it's going to be create a more interest in the league. It's going to create parity.
Cool. Chris, do you think he should resign, or should he maybe wait, or what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, for one thing, I saw somebody say he's getting paid too much. I'm sorry, 2-time MVP. You know how I feel about that. Defensive player, y'all know how I feel about that. Regardless, his number is there. He's a max guy. He's a franchise guy. Now, do I think he should have re-signed? I mean, if you talk about him getting the money, great for him. But him and his chances winning the championship this year is slim to none. I'm sorry. I don't like this team. I don't like the coach. I don't like the way he coaches. They have a good bench, but this is not the bench that they're used to. Is he going to play Drew Holiday and these guys more? I don't know. He's never done that with Atlanta or Milwaukee. And I look at the juggernauts in the East. I don't know if I like Milwaukee this year. Giannis is 26 right now. So, when this contract is over, he's looking to resign. He's going to be in his early 30s. Still going to be in his prime. Still going to be dominant. And the way his game has grown year after year after year, expect big changes in his game from now to the next 3 to 4 years. Big improvements to his game. So if he doesn't want to stay in Milwaukee, he's going to be able to go wherever. He's going to be able to demand a trade forever. And, when you look at Milwaukee historically, from what I heard from NBA players, that's probably one of the most unlike cities. But when you got a star in Giannis, players may go and sign there, but it just depends on all these other big market teams, like what LA is doing, all these other teams that got good young stars in a better market. It just depends on the situation, and it also depends on Giannis' recruiting skills. He wanted guys like Bradley Beal to come there. He got Drew Holiday. He wanted Bogdanovich. He's wanted guys to come there. I think I'm standing on it. You need a new head coach if you're going to win a championship. I don't like Bud. Great regular season coach, can't coach in the playoffs. But for Giannis, I love the fact that he's staying with Milwaukee, showing players that a star guy can't stay on their team. Like Coach Cam said, with Dirk, he won a championship in Dallas. Giannis wins a championship in Milwaukee. He's going to be loved for forever. But can he do it? We just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully he stays there. Hopefully his career doesn't end up like KG. You got to go somewhere else to win a ring, then come back, stay with Milwaukee. Hopefully he can win a ring. You're going to get more respect. But, I'm glad he got his money. He deserved it.
Chris, to touch on one thing you said that people are saying that he's overpaid. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as being overpaid in the NBA no more. When you have Russell Westbrook getting the contract that he's getting, you pay John Wall all the money that he got, and he's been injured.
Hold on. You saying the wrong guys, because those are franchise guys. Say guys like Tobias Harris getting a max contract. Say guys like Chris Middleton getting a max contract. John Wall was a franchise guy in Washington. I know he's getting the money, but he was that top guy. Russell Westbrook was that top guy in OKC. Tobias Harris, he's not even an all-star. He got a max. Chris Middleton, I mean, he's a good player. He's not a franchise guy. He's getting a max. And, so I see what you're saying about all these guys making big money. But at the time, they deserve their contract. I love Tobias. Philly, my team. Yo, you ain't deserve no max. Chris Middleton, you didn't deserve no max. So it's these role players that's getting more money. It looks bad for the stars. If you were at one point in time the franchise guy for your team, you deserve a max. At the time, John Wall, franchise guy, max. Russell Westbrook, franchise guy, max. Makes sense. All these role players getting maxed out? Nah, I can't dig that.
All right, let's move it on. Let's move on to my Lakers, man. They, every time you might find a jewel in the rough in the past, you might find, something just, you might find something that you just didn't know you had. But there's this second-year player on the Lakers. His name is Taylor Horton Tucker. And, he looked good in preseason. These last 2-3 games they had, he looked really good. He's been the focal point, the reason why this team is winning, And so with that being said, we're going to ask the question, what will his role be this year? And I think it's only respectful that I go first on this question just because it's the Lakers. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. You have him, and he's evolving to the player that he is. He's not afraid to take that ball to the hole, man. Neither as well. When he get the ball, hey, he's going to that hole. He's going to shoot it. He's not afraid, and it's going in too. But I think with him, Kuzma, that bench is going to be nice, man. That bench is going to be nasty. It's going to give an opportunity for LeBron and AD. They can rest. They can be on the bench a little bit longer because you don't have to depend on LeBron. This is the problem with LeBron for years that, he come out the game. He had a score up there. Come out the game, then it's either tied or they done lost the lead because he cannot get his rest. And I think with this bench this year, I think this is going to be the best bench that LeBron has ever played with, in my opinion, just because of this depth that they have. And if he can continue to do the things that this team is doing, it could be dangerous. We'll go with Coach Cam on this one. You know what? Before you go, Coach Cam, I see these two comments. All I hear is haters. So, haters, and haters.
How do you hear haters through a message?
I hear them. That's how. All right, go, Coach Cam.
My reaction is
I love it.
I think you sleep again.
Snoring. Listen here, man. Look, he's put up good numbers in the preseason. Honestly, he sparked the preseason last year. So that's what kind of got, him on the radar a little bit. I look at the roster, and you tell me what's his role going to be. Not much. I look at the roster. You got Dennis Schroeder starting, right? You're going to have KCP with LeBron, AD, and possibly Gasol, right? Right. Okay, so you got Markieff Morris coming off the bench as a big, right? Correct. You're going to have Harold coming off the big as a big, right? That's 2 men off the bench, so we talk about 7. Okay, now you got Wesley Matthews coming off the bench, right? That's another guard. And I look at he's not a point guard, so you got Quinn Cook, and then you have Caruso, and then you have so my question to you, and I haven't even said Kuzma. So my question is he going to outplay those 5 guys? The answer is no. He's falling 11th and the 12th man. Now, could he be a key piece if someone gets injured on the bench? Maybe. But you're looking at a player that's going to get about 5 to 8 minutes a night if he gets that. Some games he may not even dress because I understand how the NBA works. They like veterans to dress, like Alfonso McKinney, who they have, and things like that. You know what I mean? So, to be honest, he's not going to have a big role. It looks good in the preseason, but let's not get hype over Horton Tucker. We're not going to see him in any meaningful action at all this season. And if he does see him at all, y'all might be in trouble because that's not where you won't want to go that far down the depth chart. He's about player 12 that's on that roster right now.
So you mean to tell me a game that LeBron James said, you know what, I'm taking off tonight, we will not see him?
He just said that.
That's what I said. If you got an injury or someone sitting out, you will see him play.
Okay,
But
that's
however,
what I'm talking about. Okay.
he's not. But when you're talking about when it's getting down the stretch where players start to get their legs and not sitting down going into the playoffs, you're not going to see Horton Tucker get meaningful minutes.
Okay, we agree. We agree. All right, Michael. Well, you roll your eyes.
Man, Cam, man, you know, I respect you, man, but I have to disagree with you totally. I'm gonna tell you right now. He has an old school type of game, and he's only 20 years old. And the way that he runs the court, the way he runs the floor, the way that he got the respect of his players, specifically LeBron, I think his role is going to be coming off the bench, like you said. But I think he's going to come off the bench for Kuzma because he has that same qualities. He's going to be taking the perimeter jump shot. He can take it to the cup. He's got a 7'1" wingspan. He's going to help out on the defensive end. He has a nice size, 6'4". I think he's going to be a great addition. And he played well in the bubble last year, the time that he got. I think he's a great addition. I think he's going to play not so much a major role, but he's going to have an impact.
My question is like, yeah, LeBron is hyping the young guy up, but LeBron doesn't trust young guys. Like, you know what I mean? He trusts veterans down the stretch. That's the reason why, you know, they traded when he got to Cleveland. They traded Wiggins for Love because he didn't want to wait. You know, he's not patient enough with young guys. Like in the preseason, it's good, but if you make a wrong cut, you make a wrong read, you don't do. I'm telling you, you know, LeBron lose patience quick with young guys. That's my only worry about with him in the history of playing with younger players is he's like, man, get me some veterans in here that know what to do. Because if you make a wrong cut, a wrong read, LeBron is like, get him out of here. There's not much patience there. But I understand what he has a great game. And I agree with you there, Michael. He's a bucket getter. You know, he has the athleticism, he has the wingspan, he has the tools to be successful. And I'm not saying he won't be successful you know, in the future, but I'm just saying as far as this year, I don't see much of a role for him just because LeBron don't trust younger players, and he never has. And, you know, historically playing with them.
All right, Chris.
I mean, Coach Kim kind of said everything I was going to say. When you look at their roster, you know, now I see Schroeder starting. You're going to Schroeder, KCP, LeBron, AD, Marcus Gasol. You got Trez, you got Morris, you got Kuzma, you know, you got Matthews, you got Caruso, you got Quentin Cook. Now, here's this one I look at it, right? Maybe you say Montrez might not be, Markieff might not be in that full second unit. You slide Kuzma to the 4 and you throw him in there. Well, maybe you can do that. I think he's going to be able, if he plays 8 to 10 minutes, that's where I see it starting off, you know, when LeBron and them are kind of not playing full 38 minutes, maybe 30, 32. I see him playing 8 to 10 minutes. Now, if he does his job well in those 8 to 10 minutes, then his role is going to start to be able to increase. Now, then you're talking about, okay, now this is my question. It's going to come down to that key bench score between him and Kuzma. Now, if it's Kuzma playing and he playing like that, he's taking all Kuzma's minutes. But if he does that, his defensive game has to improve. That's the major thing I want to see. Because when you're on this team, they love offense. But this team is going to be one of the best, if not the best defensive team in the league from starters to bench. So now if he really wants to play meaningful minutes, we know you can get buckets. I mean, LeBron said in his interviews he's been watching this guy since high school. This guy's been a bucket for a while now. If you like the the young hoop scene, you know him. But this is the NBA, right? You got to play both ends of the court. If he wants meaningful minutes, his defense has to take a step up. You know, when I look at Kuzma is doing his thing in the preseason right now. We know what Kuzma can do without LeBron on the court, without AD on the court, without those other monsters on the court. Kuzma and just like THT are going to have to learn if they're going to be able to play with those monsters. If he wants meaningful minutes, he's going to have to know how to adjust his game and play with these guys. I personally think he's going to get at least 8 to 10 minutes. I think the lineups, what I've seen from the Lakers is that depending on who they play is depending on the lineup they put out. And that's why I love that coaching staff, because you're not going to have the same lineup against every team. So there might be times where THT plays more minutes than he plays less. You know, when you got a team that got a small bench, you know, Markieff might not get more minutes than THT. So it all comes down to the minutes with teams and if his defense can take a next step. I know he's an offensive bucket, but if that defense takes a next step, he's going to get way more minutes than I think he knows.
All right, Ron.
Chris just took it right there. everybody talks about offense. What's he going to be able to do on the defensive end? I think the defense is going to drive how many minutes he actually gets, because everybody else that's on that bench can score. You got 2 or 3 different people in the same position. Is he going to out-hustle, out-defend the rest of those guys on that bench? And that's the only way he's going to earn playing time. What he's actually doing, in my eyes, is he's just putting out tryout film for any other team that's looking to bring up a spark in. So he's more or less playing for the next team, in my eyes, as to what he's going to be able to get once he moves away from LA.
I didn't think about it like that, but that makes sense though, because the young team off the bench could use him. So yeah, I like that.
And the Lakers better not let him go for a bag of chips.
And can I say something? Everybody talks about the Lakers drafting. Shout out to them guys drafting. They all gone though. So like, I understand you drafted all those guys, but obviously it didn't work out. You didn't give it time to to pan out. They're all gone. So shout out to the Lakers and they're good drafting. Those guys not there no more. Don't claim them now when you're so hyped to get rid of them. I was hearing so many Lakers fans so hyped to get rid of those. So many guys, from the Julius Randles, from the Josh Harts,
Ingram.
It's Ingram. Yeah, they were saying Ingram, Kuzma's better than Ingram. So you drafted them, but where did their career take a next step? Wasn't with LA.
Well, I mean, Chris, I'm not one of them Laker fans. Like, I like our young core. I like them. Like,
Y'all wasn't winning anything for them like 5 years with that.
I praise them, but hey, when you have Anthony Davis, you can get on your team.
You go get them. Yeah, we all know you gotta go, but you can't claim them like, oh, these Lakers babies. We just got the eye for talent. But if you had the eye for talent, they would have. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand you draft good guys, but stop claiming them, because for one, you put most of those young guys in a bad situation with a terrible coach in Luke Walton. So just get that out there. Luke Walton's a trash coach, man.
All right, let's move to the next topic, gentlemen. I'm gonna go with Michael on this because Michael, I just want to see what your eye of the game is. We got some rookies, playing. Which rookie surprised you the most during this preseason?
Well, Freddie, right now it's obviously too soon to really make an accurate statement. But I'll give you a couple of guys who have caught my eye. Isaac Okoro. He's only 19 years old. I think he has a great future ahead of him. He has a very good first step. He's very athletic. I think he's going to shine. So far, he's been playing pretty well so far in the preseason. I like the way he plays. I think he has a lot of upside, and I think he's going to be a rookie to be dealt with. My next one is Malachi Flynn. Malachi's, playing pretty well. He's gotten 26 points in 40 minutes, shooting 10, 19 from the floor, 6 of 14 beyond the arc, 7 assists to 5 turnovers. I like him. I like Micaiah, and I like Isaac Okoro so far.
All right, Chris.
I could go, simple and say LaMelo because, for all the guys hyping him up, there were the naysayers saying his jump shot wouldn't translate, saying his offensive game wouldn't translate, when it's shown that it's translated. I could go that route, but that'd be too easy. The con man said it best. There's a guy that, has been doing his thing, and Isaac Okoro that, on the draft night, me and Coach Cam was kind of questioning it. But now, I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking the fact that he's shooting a 3-ball with confidence and knocking it down. I'm liking the defensive side. I'm liking the offensive side. I'm liking everything I'm seeing from Isaac Okoro. I'm not saying this guy is going to be the next, big name guy. But from what I'm seeing so far in the preseason, I'm liking everything I'm seeing from him. And another guy I'm going to go with is Obi Toppin. And the reason why I'm saying Obi Toppin, because when I look at their team, even through the preseason, some of these guys that's been there for 2-3 years just look so inconsistent right now. Like Kevin Knox, I love Kevin Knox, but he's hit or miss. RJ Barrett, I love RJ Barrett. He's hit or miss. You look at Elfrid Payton, I know they're not in the same position, hit or miss. Then you got a guy in Reggie Bullock who's been there for a while, playing more minutes than he should. He's bad. When I look at Obi Toppin, he's probably a top 5, top 4 guy on that team right now. And he's showing that one, he's kind of reminding me, I'm liking him like a Mario Stoudemire type, if comparing a guy in the league right now like a John Collins type, because John Collins, this last 2 years, his 3-pointer game elevated. So if Obi Toppin can be like that, and I see the potential with the rebound, with the athleticism, being able to play him more of the 3-4 more than a 4-5. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from those young two guys.
All right, Brian. All right, we'll go.
To be completely honest with you, I really don't take stock in what rookies are doing right now.
Mhm.
I want to see what the rookies are looking like once you get to the middle of the season, All-Star break, because they're not used to playing that much basketball. So I want to know if there's a difference between what LaMelo Ball had to do overseas with the amount of games that he played versus these guys coming out of college and the shortened season that they had. Who's going to hit that rookie wall first, and who's going to actually finish out the season looking the best?
All right, Coach Cam.
Early on, I kind of agree with Brian there. But early on, a player that I like, and I gave him some slack, and I thought this was a bad pick too. But Patrick Williams is not looking bad for
Looking
the
good.
Chicago Bulls. I thought that was a pick where I thought they reached a little bit. However, but if he develops, continue to develop, he could be a top notch. He's already a top notch defender in the league. So if he can develop into a 18-point scorer down the road, that would be a great pick for them. So he's playing well. And also, man, I'm liking the way Cole Anthony has played too.
Yes.
He's been playing really well. A guy that I just don't know why he dropped so far. I understand North Carolina had a bad year, but their team was bad in general and as a whole. And you've seen the talent that Cole Anthony gives you. He had 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds tonight. Had 19, the previous game. So he's a person that can get buckets on anybody. And it's just overall just a statement I want to make. The Hornets got LaMelo coming off the bench. The Timberwolves got Anthony Edwards coming off the bench. Listen here, man. You pick in the top 5, play these guys, let
Thank
them
you.
get experience. Stop. I don't understand. You got these veterans on here that haven't done nothing for you for years, but you continue to try them out there. But you got a top 5 guy that you want to develop and try to be a star, but they coming off the bench. I don't understand that. I've never understood that. You draft these guys to be your franchise guys. If they're going to sink, they're going to sink. If they're going to swim, they're going to swim. But find out soon. There's no reason why LaMelo should be coming off the bench. There's no reason why Anthony Edwards should be coming off the bench. Honestly, there's no reason why Cole Anthony should be coming off the bench.
Thank
Folks need to be coming off the bench for him. Like, come on, guys. Like, play these guys. That's if they're lottery picks, you need to find out what you got in them. And the only way you're gonna find out is you play.
And I just want to say something. With LaMelo, and why I get mad when I watch them play. When your coach comes out and say we want to be in a fast-paced type of system, we want to be able to push the ball down the court. LaMelo has shown, and this is how I feel about Ben Simmons. On a fast break for the Sixers, it's been shown for the past couple of years. Ben Simmons is the only competent guy that can run the break. From so far what I'm seeing in the preseason, LaMelo Ball is by far the best person, maybe other than Teddy Rozier, to run a fast break. If you want to play that style of offense, and he's shown that his offensive game, even his scoring the past couple of games, has been translating, he needs to be playing more. He needs to be playing more minutes than a lot of these guys right now. And if he's going to be a 6-man, he needs to be like James Harden was at OKC. He can be a 6-man, but at the end of the game, he needs to be on the court.
I definitely agree with that. All right, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and hit
One more thing. With this, why I like what I'm seeing from these young rookies with no summer league, they're hopping right in the gate, going against most of these teams that are playing these experienced guys. Some of these rookies are, setting themselves up. And I agree. I want to see that, halfway rookie slump. But for right now, with no summer league, a short training camp, and the fact that their game is translating, and some things I'm seeing, like with Patrick Williams being from Florida State, he got switch everything defense, how that's translating so fast. I'm just picking up some small things. I'm like what I'm seeing from these rookies.
All right, gentlemen, let's keep moving on. Let's move on. Right, the season starts Tuesday, and there's going to be a lot of great players. There's going to be a lot of average players. And, what NBA player is going to be, that's going to disappoint us, as fans, disappoint their teams. What players out there is going to do that this year, Chris?
It's this is a sad subject because we want to see all these players win. But there's one guy who, I'll be honest, pissed me off this offseason. He pissed me off this offseason. He had a chance to, re-sign with the team. You made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. You were a big role for that team, and I'm talking about Jeremy Grant. You were a big role for that team, playing big minutes in a big spot, very important. And you decide to sign with the Detroit Pistons saying, I want a bigger offensive role. But in this game, you only shoot 8 shots. What offensive role do you want? Now, this is the best preseason game so far, 15 points. But, you're going against the Wizards. They're not playing everybody. I'm not high on Jeremy Grant this year. He wants this big offensive role. You think you're KD? Who do you think you are? You think you're not a better scorer than MPJ, and he was on your team. You weren't one of the best wing scorers on your team. Your game is not a ISO offensive type player. You want more shots? You were getting a lot of shots in the Nuggets. You're not going to get more shots with the Pistons than you do with the Nuggets because that's not your game. You played this long in the NBA, everybody knows what your role is. So I think he thinks he's going to have this great offensive season. I don't see it. He might have a decent field goal percentage, but he's not shooting more than 12, 13 shots. If you're not shooting more than 12, 13 shots, you don't have an offensive game to begin with.
All right, Coach, who's going to be a disappointment this year?
Oh man, disappointment this year. This one was kind of tough because it's hard to be like, this person,
It is hard.
be, not as, good as what you thought. But I think the writing's on the wall for Draymond Green, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great player. He and don't get me wrong, he was the catalyst, for those teams. He was the glue guy, the one that kept everything together. He was the vocal leader and things like that. But let's just be honest, like his skills has started to diminish, man. I don't know if it's injuries or not, but each and every after they won the first title, his jump shot has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And he's a great passer. But at some point, when you don't guard a person above the free throw line, you become a liability on one end of the court. Now, I understand defensively you're strong as well. But, at some point, I think at some point they're going to try to look to move Draymond too. It may not be this year, but it may be next year. I just think it's time. They can keep that little 7.6 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 assists. They can keep that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. At some point, I just think he's gonna limit this team, somewhat, because defensively, as you get older, you don't become better defensively. You start falling off defensively. It just is what it is. He's not the defensive player that we, defensive player of the year that we saw a couple years ago. He's not that same guy. For me, I'm anxious to see how he comes back. He's injured right now. He's not healthy right now. So, and what stood out to me is when, Steph went down, Clay went down, you had no KD, Draymond hear the keys, and it was like, ooh, yeah, I didn't, and it was ugly with him driving the car. So I think Draymond is about to, head towards the over the hill. He's an overachiever as an NBA player, arguably a Hall of Famer. But I think the time is up.
All right, Michael, what player is going to be a disappointment this year?
All right, well, I'm going to break it down center-wise. Al Horford.
I love that pick.
Me too. I love
Al
it.
Horford, he got them 2 big contracts. And like Cam said, his skills are diminishing by the second. It's so obvious, you know what I mean? That's number 1. Now, my forward, Blake Griffin. My forward, Blake
I like
Griffin.
that one too.
Oh, I'm glad you like, yeah, Blake Griffin. I'm telling you right now, I just had so high expectations of him when he came in the league. I know he's had some bad injuries, but again, I'm watching him, and the eye test tells me he's going downhill fast. And then my guard situation, I'm going Mike Conley. It seems like a lot of these guys who get that big contract, he's out. He shipped him out to Utah right now. I don't think he's all that effective right now. I really don't. I think that he should be doing a lot better, and I think his role is going to get diminished, and I think his points, everything's going to go down this year. That's my pick.
I agree. There's one name that I wanted to say, but I don't want to hurt Freddie's feelings. But
Okay.
Please say it.
Hmm?
Please say it.
No, I'll wait till you give yours. I don't want to cut you off.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
I got one dude I've been looking at for a couple of years, and a lot of people are in love with him because of talent. But there's one thing that I hate, and that's when you become a self-check, and that's Ben Simmons. I need Ben Simmons.
Chris.
Doggone basketball. There is no way people should be looking at you like you are this great player, and you won't even try to throw up a three-pointer. I don't care how bad you miss it, how good you start knocking them down. If Rajon Rondo can learn how to shoot a jump shot, I need Ben Simmons to do the same doggone thing.
Here's my problem with that, right? And you not wrong. He needs to learn how to shoot a jump shot, but I'm tired of people.
It's not even learn.
I'm tired of people saying that's the first thing they go to, a jump shot. Before a jump, people fail to realize before a jump shot happens, he needs to learn how to be aggressive first. See, now Rondo has times where he takes over, he's aggressive on the offensive end. I love Ben Simmons. He hasn't shown that. So I'm not mad at you saying that he needs to learn how to shoot a jumper, but he has to learn how to be aggressive on the offensive end first. But I mean, I'm sorry, he's arguably the best defensive player in the game.
Try to be aggressive, but where he gets into trouble is people just start sinking back off of him. So the one thing that he's good at is getting into the paint. If your defender is sitting back away from you 5 feet, cutting you off and saying, shoot the ball because I'm not going to let you get to this spot in the paint, you got to do something. And that something has to be put up a jump shot.
Not a three-pointer. First of all, that's what I'm saying. He's 6'10", 240. He shouldn't be stopped getting into the paint. That's why I talk about being aggressive. At 6'10", 240 pounds, when you're 5 feet and in, people like I don't want to hear a jumper. I want to hear be aggressive first. If you'd have said come on, be more aggressive, I'd have been with you. I'd have been running with you. But he can't start shooting jumpers unless he takes the next step and being more aggressive on the offensive end.
Now,
if you can't get past the person, you ain't getting into the lane. You're gonna have to do something to make that defender come out so that you can use your quickness and athleticism to get around him.
Now, what I will say is this. I'm on board with Ben Simmons needs to be able to step out. He needs to be able to shoot. He needs to be able to, it starts with a mid-range. He needs to be able to do that.
No three-pointer, the mid-range first.
Now, I'm not a component just chucking him up just to chuck him up because Westbrook chuck him up.
And he takes you out the game.
And he takes you out the game. And he loses you the game chucking up them threes.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Just chuck him just to chuck him now.
No, see, I'm not talking about Westbrook just throwing up any type of shot. I'm saying when you have to at least make your defender.
He needs to start taking the midi.
You.
I agree with you.
And they're giving it to you. You got to take that shot.
He needs to take the midi, but my thing is before he even attempt the midi, he has to show that he wants to score more. And I agree with you. The jump shot has to come. But until he shows that he wants to score more, because he can score 24 in this league without taking the jumper if he wanted to. At 6'10", 240, with the guys guarding you. You could do that easily. But he doesn't show that he wants to be aggressive. But man, this dude, and I'm not even gonna say it, he's the best defender in the game. Everybody talk about Giannis. Nobody guards the perimeter with his versatility like him. I love all these defenders, but nobody guards all the stars like him. Nobody has the versatility like him. I understand the offensive game has to come, and I'm with you. I want a mid-range before I want a three-pointer. I want a dominant paint presence before I want a mid-range. But I need somebody to turn on the switch, and I think Sam Cassell is that guy to help him be more aggressive. He did it with John Wall. He did it with all these point guards. I'm putting my faith in Sam Cassell. But I mean, you saying everything that I think already. I was just upset that you said his name.
I agree.
What?
Your most disappointing player?
I said mine at the beginning. Oh, you talking about the name that I thought you? I said I don't think you want to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't. Let me tell you why. Let me say it's going to be Marc Gasol. But here's why. I don't see Marc Gasol having a huge impact for this team. He's getting older. He showed that he digressed last year in the playoffs. Now I think in 20 to 25 minutes, he's going to be able to, be a little bit decent. But if people in the Lakers expect him to play 30 to 35 minutes, that's not the same Marc Gasol anymore. That is not the same Marc Gasol anymore. But if you're talking about a guy for 20 to 25 minutes, being able to stretch the floor, then yeah, I'm kind of like, in his defensive versatility, I don't think he's the same defender as JaVale and Dwight. But he's very, very good. But I see, and I'm not saying to you, Freddie, I seen somebody DM me say Marc Gasol is about to go back to averaging 14 and 10 this year. I said, on what team and what mine? On 2K? Not with the Lakers.
No.
I don't see. Hopefully his 3-point shot, gets better because it's been slipping a little bit. He's been inconsistent. But for 20 to 25 minutes, he's a guy. For anything more than that, some Lakers fans need to get out my DMs, man. They try.
I don't see 14 and 10, but I see a guy that, like the other night, he's wide open. He can knock a 3 down. He can make a couple passes, get a couple, run the offense through a little bit, be good. I think he'll improve on defense with Anthony Davis on the court. Because like AD do take up a lot of the, a lot of that presence where, he can help out. But man, my most disappointing player this year, and I hope I'm wrong because I like to see when this dude is rolling, he is rolling. It's Russell Westbrook. We've not seen Russell Westbrook be the player that we thought he was in OKC in a couple of years. This dude, we've not seen him, average that triple-double like he was in OKC. This dude, until last year, did not get out the first round without Kevin Durant. And now he's gonna be teamed up with Bradley Beal, and I want to see this dude, shine and be that guy. But I don't think he will be able to coexist with the Bradley Beal this year. I just don't.
I said it for a while. I want Russell Westbrook with shooters. I don't want him with a second star. I want him with shooters, 3-and-D guys, and a good big man to run a pick and roll. Not because of him. I know he's a great teammate, but I think that's just the best thing for him in his career, from what I've seen for the past couple of years. I love him as a teammate, though.
All right, gentlemen, our time is coming up on us. This is the best part of ASAP Real Talk. ASAP Real Talk, Michael. This is something we call rank them 1 through 3. Since you're the old school, we're gonna get. I think it's appropriate that we let you go first. We have 3 players, and you know what? They're all shooters. And one of them is a 3-and-D guy. So let's rank them. Number 1, you have Ray Allen. Number 2, you have Klay Thompson, and number 3, Reggie Miller. Rank them for us, Michael, 1 through 3.
Well, the first 2 you said they are Hall of Famers. Klay Thompson's his story has not been told yet. It's still going on. So if you're asking me, Reggie Miller, unfortunately, hasn't won the championship. Ray Allen has won 2. If you're asking me to rank them all time, I'm probably going to go. I'm going to go Reggie Miller 1. I'm going to go Ray Allen 2. Klay 3.
Coach Cam.
Hey, I was battling in my mind. I was battling in my head. I was like, man, oh man, oh man. But one, I'm going Ray Allen. What he could do, put it on the deck. People think with Ray Allen, as a shooter, and remember him later years in Boston and things like that. People forget with the Milwaukee Bucks, with the Seattle Supersonics, really, he was close to averaging 30, being able to put the ball on the deck, take it to the rim, shoot the 3, being an all-time sniper. Ray Allen's number 1 for me. Number 2, I do have Klay Thompson. at 2. What he could do on that catch and shoot, man. You talking about, Reggie Miller was coming off screens, catch and shoot. You talk about somebody that can score, 60 points and 10 less dribbles. There's not, many people that could do that. And the fact that not only he's going to run off a million screens and can hit you for 30, he's going to lock you up on the other end too. He's going to play good, sound defense. And that's something that neither one, even Ray Allen or Reggie Miller, really did on a consistent basis is play defense. And number 3, I got Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was a dog, man. It's hard to put him at 3. It's no disrespect because, I went to Pacers game as being, at Cincinnati, I'm closer to Indiana than I am Cleveland.
That's right.
That's right. So I can drive an hour 15 minutes away into the heart of Indianapolis, catch a Pacers game, and it was nothing like Reggie hitting the clutch three, and they got that Miller time going around, and they got that Pacer car going around the arena. So I know what type of impact Reggie made. I'm just looking at overall, man, he doesn't have the defense of Klay Thompson. They're about the same level shooters. And then, Reggie didn't put on the deck as much as Ray A. And they're like the same level shooters. Everybody got that pistol across the board. So for me, 1, Ray Allen, 2, Klay, 3, Reggie.
Can I interject one thing about Ray Allen and Reggie Miller and Klay Thompson? I'm gonna tell you real quick is that longevity. Ray Allen, longevity. Reggie Miller, longevity. Klay Thompson hasn't proven that over a course of time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're looking at a small window, whereas these guys have done it for years and years and years. Let's see if Klay can do that years after year after year.
That's fair.
All right, Chris.
Man, I think this might have been, the toughest list, for me. I put together these lists, and usually, sometimes I kind of have an idea, but I've been back and forth with this list, man, all day. These are, people want to talk about shooting. That's something that they're great at, but they're great basketball players first. These are not just guys that only shoot. Right. These are great basketball players first. So with that being said, my number 1 is Ray Allen. I think people kind of my generation only know him for the Boston days and Miami days. They forget he was a scorer, with the Seattle Supersonics. They forget that he was a scorer, the Milwaukee Bucks, that he was dunking on people with the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's not forget Ray Allen was big boom time now. Ray Allen was throwing it down on a lot of people. Ray Allen is a top scorer. His role when he went to Boston, he changed his role to win a championship. That happens. But if you're talking about him by himself, this dude was the number 1 scorer. He can score anywhere on the court. He can get his own shot. And I think people don't give him the respect that he deserves, maybe because they mad at him for leaving Boston and go to Miami. Who cares? This dude is a top-notch player. Now, number 2, it's tough. It's tough. And I understand, with the whole longevity thing, and that's a real factor. But even from what I've seen right now, and I love Reggie Miller, him being able to carry a small market team for that long, being in the playoffs. But I gotta go number 2, Klay Thompson. So I'm gonna look at him as a basketball player. Klay Thompson, the fact that he's the best defender out of the bunch. He's a top-notch defender out of the bunch. And I feel like maybe if he's on a different team, his defense will get more love, than what he's getting right now. Because he's a guy that is saving Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, it might not be the same Steph Curry. So, and when I look at Klay Thompson, we call all 3 of these guys shooters. That's facts. Klay Thompson, he arguably might be the best shooter. I mean, he's really shooting over 41% from his career. He shot over 43% multiple times. He's shooting 7-8 attempts. How he's able to get his own shot, taking 10 dribbles, 5 dribbles. He doesn't need to do anything extra. He's catch and shoot, rise up. He can do it on both ends. And number 3 is no spite. It's Reggie Miller. I mean, like I said, being able to carry a small market team for that long, being able to carry a team when he's not your guy that's going to give you 35. But Reggie Miller, one thing that I heard somebody say, which I love, Reggie Miller's the type of guy, when you're down 4 with 3 minutes left, he's going to knock down that shot to keep you in the game. A lot of people might hit game winners. A lot of my people may get, hit shots with 40 seconds left. But who's going to be that guy when there's 3-4 minutes left that's continually knocking down shots to keep you in the game? And, from all my research, from what I've seen, from all the 4 games I watched, that was Reggie Miller. It was a tough list. These guys, I just want to say, are all more than shooters, but that was my list.
Man, my list is actually different. I have Klay Thompson number 1 for one reason.
What?
Just one reason, man. What he's able to do on the defensive end. I mean, I've heard shooters say that it's hard to shoot and then play defense at the same time. I mean, Coach Cam and Chris, I'm going to bring Chris back on here because, Chris, I want you to listen to this. Come back up here. So I want you to listen to this. This great take that I'm about to give All Sports, All Plays Network today, okay? I just want you to listen to I don't know, man. String. Oh, here come Coach Cam. Man, listen. What Klay Thompson can do on the defensive end and on the offensive end is just amazing. Like, this dude can be an all-time great shooter, but he can be the best 3-and-D guy as well. Like, he give all your energy on the defensive end, but still be effective on the offensive end. That's all I'm saying. And this dude, like you said, he did not need to dribble the ball to be effective at all. That's all I'm saying. Then I have Ray Allen number 2. Like you said, he's just not a shooter. He's a scorer. He can do it all. But you know, I mean, like I said, you know, he's one of the greatest scorers the game has seen especially when he was in Milwaukee. And then Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. You remember this? The dude is legendary. The dude, like he said, carried that Pacer team for years. That's my top three. I know it might sound delusional, whatever you want to say, but like I said, for Klay Thompson to be one of the best 3-and-D guys the game has seen, for him to put the energy on the defensive end and still be able to do things on the offensive end, this dude could be the best shooter in the game. I mean, I just had to put a number one.
Can I ask you one question? And this is one question. This is just yes or no answer. Can Klay Thompson by himself carry a team to the playoffs?
No.
Okay, that's all. That's the only question I'd ask.
All right, Brian.
And see, Chris, that was a perfect lead in for me because my number one is Reggie Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He led the Indiana Pacers to the playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had complementary players. He had Mark Jackson, very good point guard. You had the Davis brothers, very good players. But no other All-Star on that team besides Reggie Miller. And for them to get there to the playoffs almost every year, have to face Michael Jordan, and that's the only person that was able to keep them out. It had to be Michael and the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie's my number one. Number two, Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're old enough to know that reference,
Mm-hmm.
then you know that's Ray Allen.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Exactly. That was when Ray Allen was using the athleticism to not just shoot 3-pointers, but he was getting to the hole, he was getting to the rack, and he was yoking on people. Number three, Klay Thompson. Now, Klay is number three because he has not had the career that the rest of them had. And yeah, Klay has won some championships, but that's because we look at the team that he's on. You got Steph, you had Draymond, and you had KD. You're supposed to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Klay might have the most overall talent and best game just because he's able to defend better than the other two did. But besides that, he's got to be number three on this list.
You know what, man? You know what?
I'm not even mad at that.
I'm not either, and there's not many times I really changed my mind.
But you kind of want to change it.
I gotta flip Klay and Reggie, man. I gotta put Reggie too. Reggie, you know, when Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan come out and say, you know, the '98 Pacers was the hardest team that he had to get through. I mean, that says a lot. And he also said Reggie was hell to guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had the one that was chasing Reggie off them screens, and Reggie used to get with him, man. And you know, and also we gotta forget Reggie at an older age led that Pacers team to the finals.
Yeah,
you know? They only lost to Kobe and Shaq, and there's no shame in that. And they were there 2-2. And it was a tight series at one point. I gotta give Reggie over Klay, man. I was thinking
about it all day.
I've been thinking about it all day. I've been going back and forth. I know Jesus Shuttlesworth is number one for me, but
I don't think that
two. I gotta go Reggie. I gotta switch it up, man. I've
been thinking about it all day because I was thinking of the fact that who can lead their team, but I didn't want to hold that against Klay because I'm rating the players. But that's why I was so tough. But I think my number one is definitely Ray. But
one is Ray for me. But Reggie, man, I forgot how cold Reggie was.
Reggie was
a killer. You talking about scoring them? What was it? The quick.
Quick 12,
8 points in what, like some seconds, man.
13 seconds.
Like, yeah, man.
Hold on, gentlemen. Too, one more thing I want to add. When Reggie played, the defense was a lot harder. He played, I mean, every night they played, it was raw. I mean, it was old school. They was banging left and right. There wasn't all these rule changes that there are now. So he did his thing when it was the hardest to do that thing.
They was grabbing him off screens, pulling him.
Yes.
That's true. That is true. For me, Reggie too. I had to switch that up.
All right, gentlemen. Well, look like that's all the topics for tonight. Man, we had another wonderful show of ASAP Real Talk. I'm gonna let everybody go around the circle and say their last things. I'm gonna give each one of you guys like 30 to 45 seconds. Coach Cam, let the people know what's happening tomorrow. First, we'll start with Chris, then we'll go with Brian, then Michael, then we'll let Coach Cam end the show off.
I just want to say thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Thankful for everybody that was on the show with us. Hope everybody watching realize why we call Freddie Mr. Delusional. I hope you realize everything he says, majority of things make no sense. I think a lot of people in the comments are starting to understand why I get so frustrated with some of the things he says.
30 seconds over.
I don't care. I can talk as long as I want to talk. I got the power to mute you and keep talking. I'm going to stop talking.
I thought you mute you too.
Yeah. And I could do this. I want all my guys to be able to say what they got to say, so I'm going to stop talking and let them end it up.
All right, Brian.
Oh, man, the only thing I want to say is I'm just glad to be here. I got 4 daughters and a wife. I'm in a house full of women. So to be able to get on here and talk about some sports, man,
that's rough.
It just make my day, bro.
There you go. All right, Michael.
I want to thank y'all for allowing me to speak the NBA with you guys. I love it. That's what I do. That's what I love. And I hope I can bring a historical perspective. And hopefully I want to bring back some of the old stuff to the new. I want to bring back, what it took for the players from the old days and what benefits the new players have. That's what I want to bring about. I want to express what transpired back in the day. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a Jordan. I want to go back to the days when Wilt Chamberlain. I want to go back to all the hardships that were dealt with the players and how free agency occurred, stuff like that. That's all. But again, I want to thank y'all for having me on the show. I think it's going to be good. Y'all, I respect y'all talent. You guys know your stuff.
All right, Coach Cam.
Hey, man, I'm excited. Missed Monday, so I was excited to be back. Happy to work with all of you. Brian has just joined, and Michael that just joined, giving the historical background. Teaching me things. Stumping me on the trivia in the chat. I'm like, oh man, like dang, But and also what we got coming up, man. Tomorrow is fresh new show. NBA, The Tip. You talk about 8 o'clock Central. Is that right, Freddie?
Yes, sir.
8 o'clock Central Time, 9 Eastern. It's gonna be interesting, man. We're gonna come with the great topics. NBA season is approaching, and we got a lot to talk about. Stay tuned. Tune into that tomorrow. We'll have myself, Freddie, Michael, and others, and we're excited for it.
Hey, Chris. Tell the world, tell the people what can we expect for Real Talk Monday, because I believe we have something special planned for Monday. Right?
Yes, Monday. So the NBA season starting on Tuesday. Monday, we're going to break down everything. We're going to give you who we think is going to make the playoffs, the 8 teams. We're going to give you the surprise team. We're going to give you the disappointed team. We're going to go over all the awards. We're going to talk about coaches. We're going to talk about players, what we expect from certain players. We're going to talk about Tuesday's matchups. We're going to break it all. Well, with that being said, that's how I'm going to end it off. LeBron's better than Jordan. Peace out.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you to the day.